everyone. I'm meteorologist Taylor Cox. Thanks for joining us today. We are tracking storms across Mississippi and Alabama on this afternoon, so let me jump right into it. You can see that from our radar, we do have those storms highlighted here. This is the tornado warning highlighted here in pink. So let's get right into that. This is coming for Haiwani, I hope that I'm saying that correctly. Here, highlighted in pink, let's see this tornado warning. You may not be able to see the text on my screen. I'll keep that actually out of the way so that you can see the tornado warning, and then I'll read this to you. So we have a confirmed tornado located about 9 miles northwest of Waynesboro, moving to the northeast at 30 miles an hour. Again, this is radar confirmed tornado. Flying debris will be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur. Tree damage is likely. So actually, let's go ahead and let's take a look at our radar a little bit closer to this. This is our dual pole radar, and we're going to take, let's see, where are we looking at? What's the closest radar to this? There's Beale. We may go a little bit farther to the north. All right. Let's take this radar first, and then we'll see if we need to go back to Mobile in just a minute. But in the meantime, let's go here, go down to Mobile, and let this start pulling data. Alrighty, so here's your confirmed tornado. Here we go. We can see the rotation from this side of the screen right here. It's not great because, again, we are so far away from the tornado itself. This area is just not great to see storms. Here we go. We've got a radar over here. We've got one over here. And that storm kind of sitting right in the middle of that. Really, really difficult to see this storm at all. We're seeing really far up into the storm, so we're not quite sure what's actually happening at the surface. But we can see that there's a ton of rain with this, most likely a tornado, and we've got some really, really good rotation with this as well. We're probably also seeing a bit of hail coming down from this. Again, this tornado was confirmed. This was a confirmed tornado. So we know that at some point this storm did produce a tornado. Is it still producing a tornado now? That's a good question. This says, let's see, where is this moving to? Moving to the northeast at 30 miles an hour. So not moving too fast, not moving too slow either. It looks like within the last few radar scans, this has started to weaken just a bit. But we'll see what it decides to do in the next few minutes. And while we're waiting on that, let me show you the other areas that we're watching for storms across Mississippi right now. This is actually right along the Mississippi and Alabama state line. Here is your severe thunderstorm warning through Tumsuba. I hope I'm saying that correctly. You guys are gonna have to help me out with some of these town pronunciations here. But this is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. So we are expecting some hail damage to this area. It says, or at least the National Weather Service is, we'll see what actually happens, but the National Weather Service says hail damage to vehicles is expected. Expect wind damage to roofs, siding, and trees. That is coming from the National Weather Service for this severe thunderstorm warning that is moving from Mississippi across the state line and into Alabama. That storm is moving at 45 miles an hour to the northeast, so a little bit faster than what we see from this storm down here. While we are waiting for these storms to move a little bit and to get maybe another warning out of this, I'll go through your forecast for tomorrow. So we do have severe storms expected for tomorrow, and this is our radar graphics. This is our graphics system, excuse me. So I'll go through our forecast really quick here. I'm not going to stay on here too long today, so if you do have any questions, put them in the comments section. Here's your headlines for your forecast here. Here we go again. Yes, we have another round of storms. Not only did we see storms yesterday producing tornadoes just outside of Houston, but now we are expecting another round of storms today, as we just showed you on your radar. We are also expecting storms tomorrow as well, and then again on Sunday. So it's a little bit of everything. There's those storms yesterday out of Houston. producing tornadoes just outside of the Houston metro. And then we saw another round of tornado warned storms late at night between about 8:30 and about 9 o'clock through Alexandria yesterday. Pretty quiet through the overnight hours as that tornado risk died down. We had a few severe thunderstorm warnings producing some high wind overnight last night and into early this morning. Now, temperatures are staying mild this week. No matter where you are in the country, we are seeing those warm temperatures, as you can see from all of these reds and yellows and oranges here. That's about 10 to 15 degrees above average for this time of the year. And I'm going to skip through some of these graphics so that we can talk about what we are seeing tomorrow. You can see all of the storms that we have going on right now. We still have a hail risk for today, as you just saw. Quarter-sized hail is possible. I'm glad I added this risk on here because the National Weather Service originally took it off, or the Storm Prediction Center, excuse me. And I decided, and we could still see some hail today. It's going to be small. It's definitely on the small side, and it's a low risk, but it's still possible. So if we see any hail today, the max forecasted hail size that I'm expecting is up to the size of a quarter. I think that the bigger risk today will be those strong wind gusts up to 60 to 65 miles an hour. And then, of course, that tornado risk. And as we talked about earlier, we do have an ongoing tornado warning right now. So that risk of tornadoes, while it is low or isolated, it's still on the board. And there's your tornado risk there highlighted in green, including Mobile. Where are we seeing those tornadoes right now? This area right in here for that severe thunderstorm warning and that tornado warning. Moving on, let's talk about tomorrow. Actually, I think this forecast is for today. Okay, very quickly. Here's today. Here's your future radar for today. You can see those storms out in the southeast going through Mississippi into Alabama. We saw that initial line earlier today. Now we're watching for this line farther back to the west. It's a little bit more isolated. If you can get an isolated, organized storm, that is when we could see that severe hazard go up. Again, marginally severe storms, 1-inch size hail, high wind about 65 miles an hour. That tornado risk is on the board, but it's isolated. The timing here from now until about 8 o'clock this evening. These storms will continue to track to the east through the overnight hours, with that risk dissipating or weakening through the overnight. Now, that is not where our forecast stops because we have another risk, actually a larger risk, not only in area, but also in intensity for tomorrow. Look at all that unstable air that is coming through tomorrow, through the morning hours, all the way into the evening hours. Let's talk about the hail risk here, okay? HailTrace, we are all about hail here. So let's talk about the risk for hail tomorrow. Really impressive, okay? I'm not terribly worried about this stuff farther back to the west. What I'm watching for is Houston, barely up to Dallas, not including Dallas, and then over to the east. This is what I'm watching for that hail risk for tomorrow. Not only through the morning hours, you can see that this actually starts pretty early in the morning, but also through the afternoon. However, that hail risk going down as we head into the late and overnight hours tomorrow night and into Sunday morning. Let's take a look at the radar. An overview at first with storms initiating out of Texas and then moving through the overnight, through the daytime hours, through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, but then through the overnight into Georgia and the Carolinas through early Sunday morning. Okay, now let's break that down hour by hour. Let's start out in Texas, where we're going to see several rounds of rain. So the first round is not done, okay? We're watching for these storms right here. This back to the west, not a concern. We're talking about rain, light rain, drizzle, fog through Oklahoma and Oklahoma City in Dallas. This is what we're watching for right in here. You're going to see storms start out isolated and then expand to be more widespread as we head into the mid-morning hours. So we're talking 8, 9, 10 o'clock here. This is what we're talking about whenever we talk about multiple rounds of storms. 1, 2, 3 rounds of storms, not counting all of these showers and storms out ahead of this initial line. So It's not going to stop with just one storm. You may have 2, 3, 4, 5. It just kind of depends on where you are and what time of day. These storms continue to spread to the east as we head into the afternoon hours. Here we are at 4:30 in the afternoon. Storms moving out of Texas, but coating the southern side of Arkansas and most of Louisiana into Mississippi, eventually into Alabama here. So let's continue with our radar here. Now we're at 9 o'clock on Saturday evening, okay? 9 o'clock. Saturday evening, you're going to continue to see storms stretch across the deep south and to the southeast through late Saturday into early Sunday morning. We still have a risk out to the east on Sunday morning, which does include Georgia and the Carolinas. And there you go. There is your timeline. Let's go over all of the different factors of these storms now. We do have a tornado risk in here. So this is tomorrow's tornado forecast highlighted here in red. And I actually want to pause right there. And I want to say, if you have any questions, stick them in the comments section and I can get to those here in just a few minutes. We can also return to the radar here in a few minutes because we're talking about tomorrow. However, currently we do have an extended tornado warning that's going into Alabama right now. Going from Mississippi to Alabama. There's your tornado warning, or there's the storm, the cell that's being warned. And then this is tracking to the east. There's the Mississippi-Alabama state line. But okay, let's return to your forecast. Let's go back to the forecast. Let's talk about what we're seeing tomorrow, and then we'll return to the radar here in just a few minutes. Here's tomorrow's tornado forecast. We have a high, a level 3, highlighted here in red, a level 3 risk. We have, not only are we expecting numerous tornadoes, but we are also expecting stronger tornadoes. Okay, we're not talking about major tornadoes. We're talking about the SPC, the Storm Prediction Center, says EF2s are possible. So it's possible here. We have a level 1 risk into Texas, a level 2 risk on the east side of Texas, including Louisiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, and Alabama, and then that large area highlighted in red, that's the area I want you to be watching for tomorrow. Most of this will be during the daylight hours. However, the farther east you go, the more likely you are to get into the overnight and nighttime hours. We have one comment on here, Josh saying his dad's about 90 miles from Alabama. So not in Alabama, I guess it depends on which way 90 miles is your dad at. He could be in that severe weather risk either today or tomorrow. Nearly in Mississippi. So your dad's probably in the severe weather threat for tomorrow. So here is Louisiana, here's Mississippi, Josh, and here's Alabama. So if he's close to Mississippi, especially on that state line, he could probably get storms today, if not tomorrow. But here, we can go ahead and talk about that wind forecast for tomorrow. Pretty good chance for wind all across this area, highlighted in blue. So these are severe thunderstorm wind gusts, about 60 to 65 miles an hour. That hail risk is not as high as the wind risk. Okay, we're probably going to see wind before we see hail. However, you can see that we are expecting some hail through places like Houston, Shreveport, Jackson, New Orleans, Mobile. It's a level 2 risk for hail, level 2 risk here for up to golf ball sized hail. So that's also possible tomorrow. I do think that the wind and the tornado risk is going to be a bigger factor here. However, the hail risk also possible. Okay, let's go over what we just talked about because we may have some people just now joining. Today, that severe risk is going to be for marginally severe storms. We're talking about pretty isolated severe storms here. For tomorrow, we're talking about a level 3 risk for large hail, high wind, and a tornado outbreak. So we've got a very large area across the southeast that we're watching for this severe thunderstorm outbreak. This continues to track across the east into Sunday morning, where that risk shifts to the east coast. And that is where we end our severe weather risks for now. We'll have to see if we could get into early Monday and get another round of storms. We track storms here, but this has been a lot of storms here lately. We had storms on Tuesday, Thursday, now Friday, now tomorrow, and Sunday. So make sure that you guys are weather aware. Again, today, tomorrow, across a good portion of the Southeast. This is a big travel day for people, so make sure that your friends and family are also aware if they're traveling back home or maybe traveling to their New Year's Eve vacations. Make sure that they know about the severe weather. And then that risk tracks to the east on Sunday. Tracks to the east on Sunday. All right, temperatures as we go into the rest of the weekend are looking pretty warm down to the south. You know, if we get that warm air and moist air, it's just great fuel for storms. And then not much is changing as we head into Monday. Temperatures on Monday in Dallas are in the 70s. How gorgeous. Extended temperature outlook for the first week of the year. Can you believe that we're already talking about 2025? Warmer out to the west, cooler out to the east. Last but not least, your rain outlook. Drier off to the west, more rain or snow probably for this time of the year out to the Pacific Northwest, and then dry on the East Coast. All right, thanks for joining us on our forecast. Before we hop off of here, let me get you another look at your radar. We do have that tornado warning here highlighted in pink. The National Weather Service says that radar indicated rotation. So we did have a confirmed tornado earlier. Now we're just going off of radar indicated signatures, tornado signatures. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning. This, kind of zoom out here and show you where we're at. This is on the eastern side of Mississippi to the western side of Alabama. Zoom back down in here. Here is your severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-per-hour wind gust and quarter-sized hail. So this is just a marginally severe storm, but still something to take seriously. And there's your tornado warning. You definitely want to take that seriously. I think it was confirmed earlier. However, it looks like we don't have any confirmation if it's still on the ground at this point. All right. Thanks for joining us today. Make sure that you follow us on all social media and give us a call if you're interested in a wind, hail, or tornado map. You can also head over to HailTrace.com, HailTrace.com, HailTrace.com. If you're interested in a tornado or wind map, we help to close your insurance claims quickly. All right, have a good Friday. Stay safe and stay weather aware. Tomorrow, HailTrace Mets will be mapping those storms. Have a great Friday afternoon.